Hello TMC1969, this is the Masked Analyst. I just got done watching your video in which you claim that YouTube had sent you a message telling you that if you didn't take down your 9/11 videos, they would suspend your account for 60 days. Now, I have to admit that I haven't seen your videos, and I really don't watch the 9/11 conspiracy videos. I think the whole theory is so loopy that it's really not worth my time investigating very much. To go very deep into an investigation of this. I mean, just think about it. Think of how many people would have to be involved in the conspiracy. There'd have to be hundreds, possibly thousands of people involved in such a conspiracy. And the government can't even keep its its illegal wiretap programs a secret. How are they going to keep something like that from people involved in the conspiracy leaking the information? It just seems bogus to me. However, be that as it may, I am somewhat disturbed, or change that, I'm quite disturbed that YouTube would apparently be censoring this. At least that's what it looks like it may be on the surface. Now, there may be copyright issues, and maybe they're doing this because they got a DMCA notice from the true copyright holders. But if your videos were repostings of the people who want to get their 9/11 theories out, it seems a little hard for me to believe that they would actually be sending these DMCA notices, and that YouTube is acting upon those notices. Now, some people in your comment sections have raised some very interesting points, and I think it's worthy of further investigation. YouTube normally doesn't give notification to people that they need to pull their videos or their accounts will be suspended. YouTube's normal operation would be to just either remove the video and give you a warning. They might not even give you a warning, they might just remove the video. Or they will suspend your account if they think that your infraction is egregious enough, or if you've been a repeat offender. So the way YouTube is going about it in your situation is very unusual, which has led a number of people to suggest that maybe this is someone spoofing YouTube. Maybe this email account, this email that you got demanding that you take down your videos really isn't from YouTube, but from some sort of a prankster. I think that's a real possibility, and it is definitely worth being worthy of further explanation. Now, here's my suggestion. I would suggest that you write to YouTube and ask them to verify that this email did indeed come from them. I think you were right. I think you were wise to pull your videos in the first place rather than risk your account. But after doing that, I think you should write to YouTube and ask them, hey, did you really send this video? And if you did, then why don't you then you can send them back another email with a follow-up suggestion that says, hey, if you really don't like 9/11 videos up there, why don't you put it in your TOS statement, in your statements of the rules and regulations of YouTube. That way everyone will know about it. That way people will know what they can't put up there and what will violate it. So if you really are against this point of view being put up there, then be upfront about it. Let everyone know. Let people know where they stand ahead of time. It'll save you guys a lot of trouble in that you won't have to send out letters to people like me who unknowingly violated your rules, and you may as well be upfront about it. On the other hand, if this happens to be an imposter, then I'm sure YouTube would very much like to know about it. I don't think the people at YouTube will be too happy if they find out that someone is spoofing them and someone is imitating them and sending out cease and desist messages in their name. So I think YouTube would probably welcome an email to them questioning whether this email really was from them or from an imposter. And if it turns out that it was from an imposter, then YouTube will probably tell you. I don't see why they wouldn't, and you should be able to put your videos back up. Now, I've seen a few people make comments on your in your comment section on the videos, stating, "Go ahead and fight them. They have no right, it's violating the contract, this and that. Well, much as I wish they were true, much as I wish these sentiments would be backed up by law, that's just not going to be the case. That's just not going to happen. YouTube is a private corporation. They're the ones who pay for the servers. Last I checked, none of us paid them any money to host our videos. So they get to set the rules whether we like it or not. Someday, maybe there'll be a realistic competitor to YouTube. Live video, as far as the audience membership goes, just doesn't cut it. But someday there may be some real competition to YouTube, and in that case, then YouTube will have to take a more user-friendly approach if they want to keep their content makers happy. But in the meantime, there's really not much to do except verify that this order did indeed come from YouTube, and if it did, you were right in making your videos taking them down, and if it isn't from YouTube, then hopefully YouTube will investigate. Maybe they'll find out who sent you this message, and you should be able to put your videos up. Oh, one more thing. If it turns out that YouTube really did send you that letter and that they really do want you to take down the videos for reasons other than copyright, if it turns out that they don't like 9/11 conspiracy videos, then you may want to get in touch with the Yourtube Advocate. The Yourtube Advocate is a regular YouTube user like you or me. He makes his own videos, he's just a regular person, and the Office of Advocacy changes hands every month. And the whole point of the Yourtube Advocate is to kind of act as a buffer, or to act as a spokesperson, that's a better word, a spokesperson for the little guy, to bring our concerns to people on the YouTube staff. And they may listen to them, they may not, but if you don't like the way things are being done, if you think that YouTube is being too much to censor, you might want to make your case to the Advocate and tell them, look, if YouTube wants to have the image of a platform for free speech, this is not the way to go. If you want to gain a reputation as a censor, then fine, go right to it. But it's your corporate image. What type of place do you want people to think of you as? And if you start censoring here, then what else will you censor? Where does it stop? So I'm going to post a link to the Yourtube Advocate channel in my sidebar. And one other thing, when I made this video, I didn't intend this to be on the merits of the 9/11 conspiracy theory. So if people who want to try and drag me into debate on the 9/11 conspiracy theory, I'm really not that interested in it, so I'm not going to get into any big debates. It will take me away from other projects that I'm currently working on. It's just that I saw what may be an attempt to limit freedom of speech on YouTube, and I'm a bit concerned about that. Bottom line is, if YouTube really does want to limit our freedom of speech, there's really not much we can do about it. But just throwing out a few thoughts at you. This has been the Masked Analyst, under and in.